Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Merlot Mondays. I like to do every Monday. It's kind of like a girl chat where I invite you to come speak with me, and I invite you to just come in and let's have some girl chat. I named it Merlot Mondays if you are new here because I will be having a glass of Merlot. And I invite you to also have a glass of Merlot or wine, or it doesn't have to be alcoholic beverage. It can be soda, water, whatever you choose. Just come on in and, have some girl chat. So if you're new here, my name is Stephanie, and I post videos twice a week all about plus size fashion and femininity. And today's video is going to be more so of the femininity component of my channel. I usually keep Thursdays for like a plus size fashion type of video, styling video or something like that. So if you are new also, and you are not subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would just go ahead and subscribe to my channel and help me reach my goal of 500 subscribers. And I would greatly appreciate that. And also, if you have any other topic ideas or anything that you would like for me to talk about in one of these Merlot Mondays girl chats, then let me know in the comments, or I'm also on Instagram, so you can also DM me there as well. So let's get into the video. I'm not going to be too long-winded today. I just have a couple points and a couple sips of wine before we start. So cheers to Monday, and cheers to getting over this crazy hectic day, which I know for a lot of us, Mondays are a trip. Mondays are very busy for me, and if I can make it through a Monday, I can make it through anything. So cheers to that. And let me take a couple sips before we get started. And that's really good. Okay, so today's video is going to be all about my top 5 myths of femininity and how they are keeping you stuck in life and just stuck where you are in general. So there are a lot of things going around about femininity, and there are some misconceptions about what it is to be feminine or how to be feminine. And I just kind of want to clear some of that up for a lot of women who struggle with finding their own femininity and are believing some myths and some things about femininity that they're just not true. So, and this also is going to include some mindset changes and some mindset shifts for us to continue on this feminine journey and continue to increase our feminine energy. So what I did was I wrote some things down, like always, because I never want to forget anything. And I'm going to just read them off. I just want to make sure my earrings don't fall out. So the number one myth about femininity that is keeping us stuck is femininity is a one size fit. So what I mean by that is that a lot of times we think that femininity has a lot to do, well, it's only to do with how we look on the outside. And that is somewhat true. Like how we look as women, how we keep ourselves up, does take a part of how we look or how feminine we are. But with the sizing of it, it doesn't matter if you are plus size or not, you still can be feminine. So I know for a lot of us plus size women, including me, I had a mindset of I couldn't be a certain way, or I couldn't be like a feminine woman, or I couldn't be looked at as a gentle woman because of my weight and my size. And I know I'm not the only one that way. I know I'm not the only one that thinks that way, or I used to think that way at least. I'm not the only one. So I know there's other women out there who feel that, a lot of other plus size women out there who feel that way. And so, what I want to do is change that mindset, or help women change that mindset, that no matter your size, no matter, your weight or anything, you can be feminine. You can exude feminine qualities, and you can just still be a woman, a beautiful woman, no matter what size you are. So that's number one. And the reason why I wanted to start this YouTube channel, one of the reasons why, is because when I got into like my feminine journey and I started researching things about, femininity and how to be more feminine, I kept seeing the same people basically say, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with the people who are talking about femininity or how to be feminine, but it's something about listening to somebody who looks like you. It's something about being able to relate to somebody. And so for me, I could have related a little bit to some of the things that people were saying, but I didn't really see a lot of feminine content creators or anything that were plus size. And so that kind of prompted me to make a channel all about femininity for plus size women. And I just wanted to relate to those out there who felt like me. Cause like again, I know I couldn't have been the only one who felt that way. So number one myth, a myth buster, is that you don't have to be a certain size in order to be feminine. Feminine to me comes from the inner, and it kind of works its way out to the outer being. So you can be plus size, or you can, not be plus size um and still be feminine, or and still have an ugly inside, no matter what size you are, and be ugly outside. That's just how I was raised. It's kind of like, if you have an ugly inside, then you're not going to look cute on the outside. So to me, that is what encompasses femininity, is inner beauty. So that's number one. Number two, you don't have to come from money, or have a lot of money to be feminine, or to be seen as feminine. I think a lot of times we get so caught up in the elegance and the pretty surroundings, and just the really, nice things and things like that. And I think that things don't make us elegant. It's who we are is what make us elegant. And so when you are someone who don't come from a lot of money, and you don't have a lot of money, and you're looking at someone who's deemed elegant, and they usually have some money, they usually have some type of coin. But if you are someone who don't necessarily have that yet, you may not feel like you are as elegant as that person because of the things that they have. And so another myth that I want to break, or a myth buster, is that you don't need money, or you don't need to come from money to be feminine. Again, that femininity stems from the inside. So if you do have a lot of money, and you are not a nice person, and you're not kind, you have a bad heart, then um you're not elegant to me. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care if you have the nicest car or house. To me, you're not elegant. And so I think that a lot of times we consider that being elegant or feminine when you see like other women may have like the nicest wardrobe, or the best makeup, or the best home decor, that makes you a feminine woman. To me, again, it's all about what's on the inside. And so, again, when we look at where we come from as well, we feel like we can't go nowhere. we feel like where we come from has deemed us we has deemed us a certain way, and where we come from a lot of times stops us from reaching our goals. So for example, for me, I wasn't raised in the best of neighborhoods, and this allowed me to not think of myself as reaching a certain level in life. I kind of got stuck where I was because I thought that where I came from, I couldn't go different places. I couldn't get an education. I thought that I just wouldn't be successful because I grew up in a rough neighborhood, or I was raised around a rough neighborhood. And so a lot of times we grow up with this thinking, and that keeps us stuck. That keeps us stuck where we are. Like we can't be successful because we come from a bad neighborhood or we come from a bad family. So I just want to put that out there because I know there's, again, a lot of women who think like, I will never amount to anything because my parents weren't successful, or my parents weren't educated, or I didn't come from a good neighborhood, or I didn't come from money. And I want to tell you today that that is not true. You are not your past, and you have the ability to change that mindset, and you have the ability to become more feminine in who you are as a woman. So that's tip number two, is that you are not basically where you come from, and you don't have to have a lot of money or come from a lot of money to be considered feminine. So I told you I wrote everything down. So tip number three: femininity doesn't involve helping others, being charitable, or you don't have to volunteer in order to be considered a feminine woman or looked at as a feminine woman. And to me, I think that is quite opposite. I think one of the important, if not the important, quality of a feminine woman is that she has a charitable heart. She has a heart of giving and serving others. She is always thinking about others around her. And it's not all about her. It's not all about the glitz and the glam, and how she can look elegant or make her home elegant. I mean, those things are definitely a part of being feminine, but I don't think that those are the most important aspects of being a feminine woman. Again, this is all inner beauty work, and that is what I like to focus on. And I like my inner beauty to reflect on the outside, and I like my inner beauty to organically flow to my outside. So again, I think that the most important quality of a feminine woman is the ability to be charitable, the ability to think about others around her. We need to use our femininity to uplift and encourage others. So when you think about a feminine woman and you think about the women who you've been around, who you felt cared by and nurtured by, and just you felt uplifted by. She was able to do that because she was able to exercise her feminine energy. She was able to uplift you just by being a kind woman. She was able to uplift you by being a, having I'm sorry, she was able to uplift you by having a servant's heart. So that's tip number three, is that you need to have a charitable heart. I think that's like number one quality of a feminine woman, and being looked at as a feminine woman is having a charitable heart. So, tip number four, and this is a a big one. I think I've seen it times in the femininity community, and that is being feminine means that you have to be submissive. And I think, and when you break down the word submissive, it does have a negative connotation to it. And to me, the word submissive just means that you are able to compromise and you are able to allow someone to lead sometimes. But the word submissive doesn't mean that you necessarily lose your voice. So that doesn't mean that you don't have the right to speak up when necessary. You don't have the right to um, say what you need to say or say how you feel. And it doesn't mean that you don't have the right to speak up for what is right and speak up for yourself and take up for yourself. And it doesn't mean that you just, become a doormat. um, Being submissive is not none of that, and being a feminine woman isn't none of that either. It's quite opposite of that. Being a feminine, a more, being a more I cannot speak today. Being a more feminine woman and requires you to think for yourself, to have a voice, and it also requires you to be more assertive rather than aggressive. So assertive means just you are using your feminine power and energy to speak up for yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are aggressive and that you are like loud or obnoxious or rude or anything like that. It just means that you have the energy, you have your feminine energy, and you should use that to be a sort assertive, to speak up for what is right, to take up for yourself and not allow people to walk all over you. So that's tip number 4, is that femininity doesn't require you to lose your voice. It actually requires you to be more vocal about your ideas and how you can change the world. And so the last and final tip about femininity and how to be more feminine and increasing your feminine energy is that being a feminine woman or increasing your feminine energy does not always mean that you are doing that to get a man. That right there is like the tip of the tips, okay? So it's not all about getting a man. Developing your femininity and increasing your feminine energy is not all about trying to get a man. Now, don't get me wrong, men love feminine qualities about a woman. I believe that you can attract the right man into your life by exuding great feminine qualities. But if you are trying to develop your femininity and you are just doing it because you think that you're going to get a man with that, which you might, don't get me wrong, which you might, but you should be developing it because you want to grow as a woman. And if you happen to meet a man because of that, great. Cherry on top, right? But we should not be focusing on just trying to develop different qualities just to attract a man. That to me, that's not all about that's not the whole thing about femininity. That's just a part of it. But developing your feminine energy should be because you want to increase your inner beauty. You want to, and I think once we address those things, then we will have a total mindset switch, a total mindset recovery, and we'll be able to increase our feminine energy, and we'll be able to um, we'll be able to um, just become more feminine women. So those are all the top 5 myths that I had, and I'm going to drink another sip of my wine. And so, if you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to leave them down in the comments. I love to be active in my comments. Again, I want this to be more so like a community of people, chatting or, just having some girl chat. And I think that is what is going to build up this journey and help you through your journey is if you are able to ask questions and just build relationships with other women who are on the same journey as you are. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope it has helped someone. And again, I am on Instagram as Inner Glamour as well. And feel free to reach out to me there. And as always, I will see you again in my next video. Thank you for watching and have a good night. Bye bye.